All right, so you'll be happy to know that due to the results of our poll that we mentioned in the last episode, Steven will be doing reviews of the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah, that's still a terrible idea.
No.
It's still a really bad idea. I've got the. You haven't looked at the Patreon yet, but I got the Patreon like mostly set up, and then I don't know. I guess we can have it live by the next one. The next episode, I will say where to get it. I know there's lots of people out there desperately trying to give us money with no means to do so. So I'll help those thousands of people out.
That's real kind of you. I was wondering when we were going to allow those people to give us money, because I'll be honest, I could use it, you know. I'm not
When we
gonna
were
lie to you.
talking with Jared the other day, and he mentioned that we should actually write shit down to have like topics.
Yeah,
So I'm
which
looking
is a
at what
good
I
point.
have in my phone,
Let's see it.
and one of the lines just says "ass hurts," and I don't know what it meant.
I
Because
was
like half
thinking
of this shit is from when I was like about to go to sleep and just shit popped into my head.
just like writing, like, oh, this is a great idea, dude. Ass hurts,
Ass
man.
hurts, and I'll do shit because I'm really
I'll know what
fucking
that means
dumb.
when I wake up.
Yeah, where I go, yeah, this'll be. I'll know what this means,
Oh,
and then
dude,
I
this would
look
be
at it
great.
and I go, I don't know what this means.
I
uh,
I have written down Shang-Chi martial arts stick with Asian family. So I'm kind of in the same boat here.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. I was thinking I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm earlier today, and they played the telephone game. Like he was at a party where there were some kids, and they played the telephone game.
Yeah.
And I've decided that when I have a son, I'm gonna teach him. Well, whatever the fuck. Doesn't have to be a son. Whatever thing happens, I'm gonna teach them that the rules of the game are someone whispers a phrase to you, and then you say the N word to the person next to you. I'm gonna make them think that that's just how the game works.
Dude, that's
You just lean over and you
that's
just
fucking
whisper
amazing.
the N word. Whatever they say, it's a really easy game. You just lean over and say the N word. And
you're
then you
gonna
deny everything
you're gonna
at the
fuck your
end.
kids up.
And the goal is to find out. I'll teach him that it's like a secret Hitler or mafia kind of thing, or I guess Among Us, where like you have to, part of the game is not letting him know who did it. And then yeah, just every game of telephone he plays in kindergarten,
Somebody,
someone saying
somebody's
the
the
N word. And
imposter.
if he plays his cards
Somebody's the
right, they'll never
N-wordster.
know that it was him.
Somebody's the slurster.
Yeah, and he'll just always be like, "Well, she said it to me, so I just said it to him."
They can't trace it. Well, you
And they
think they're
can
gonna be
never
able to
trace
trace it
him.
though? Whenever he's always the like the
Yeah,
kid, the next
they'll
kid.
they'll eventually figure it out
Yeah.
when they start ruling out kids, and then they're like, yeah,
Every,
there's the kindergarten teacher has all the different telephone game charts up on the wall with different strings of yarn connecting them. I'm plotting which ones had the N word and who was involved, and then the one common denominator will be my son.
the best part is there's gonna be kids that just say it, so it might take a while for them to figure it out.
Yeah, they're just gonna say it. They don't
Yeah.
know.
Their dads, their dads are gonna hear this
If
podcast
they do
and
know,
think
they
this
don't
is a
have a
great idea.
problem with it. Whatever kid knows what that word is in kindergarten doesn't have a problem with it if he's been taught to say it.
Yeah,
So,
it's a dark thought.
but it works to my advantage.
It does. It makes for an excellent fucking bit. For that an entire kindergarten classroom can really get behind.
What'll really do it is whenever he's the first kid.
It'll be
He just
it'll be a joke that the entire freshman class can get behind.
I need to get him to just avoid being the first kid because he'll just say it and then he'll be like, "Well, she said it first," and they'll be like, "No, you you were the only person who said anything."
They're
at the
gonna know
beginning of
because
the
he's
game."
been saying it outside of the telephone game.
Yeah. He'll get it confused with other games. He'll just start saying it in Duck Duck Goose.
Let me see.
There's-
So I have one of
Fuck,
those.
man, I got a great bit.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't talk about it.
I have a. I'm going through my notes now because I got I got one of those Galaxy notes. So like I'm always like writing on the off screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, trying to like parse together what some of this shit is. A lot of it's like customers' phone numbers from back whenever I used to sell cars.
Yeah, you should just read those off.
Oh yeah, here we go. Um,
Yeah?
well, I'm looking at a bunch of VIN numbers. You want me to just read VIN numbers?
You made it sound like you said like, "Oh, here we go," like you had something.
I didn't have something. It's just a bunch of fucking notes.
Okay.
Oh. Call list. Get paperwork correct. Engage customer before finance.
Nice.
Yeah. Which it really took me a while to get this car shit going.
I watched The Guilty, like you said.
Hmm?
I did not like it at all.
Didn't like it. Why?
I thought it started incredibly strong. And then I just started getting more and more frustrated with it. And then at one point I literally just said, "Fuck you," and closed the movie. When she fucking looked at him and was like, "Broken people save broken people."
That was
That
stupid.
was retarded.
That was not good.
That was so fucking
But
dumb.
I thought that was a blemish to be sure, but I still had a good time.
She had like no idea what was going on the whole
Yeah.
time.
No, that was
and
stupid.
just like said that to him. But no, all of the shit that he was doing was really really stupid.
Yeah, that's the point.
But it didn't paint it like that because it worked out in the end.
No, he
Sort
got
of.
lucky in the end is how it.
Like he called the dude. I don't know. I didn't like it. Like him calling the guy, and he's like, "I know what you did."
Yeah, he's
Like,
an,
if you
he's
believe
an
it's-
angry, emotional.
Yeah, and he
And
there's
he
like
fucks it
no
up.
redemption.
Like he has fucked up the whole thing, and then he goes to jail.
I don't know. It's
That yeah.
I
I mean,
guess
I don't think it was perfect. I thought it was good. Oh, sorry.
it
Spoilers.
didn't. It
by the
never.
way.
I didn't like it. The ending didn't work for me in terms. So I guess Flight had like a similar
Yeah.
track of him. He made a mistake, but like at least his actions make sense. Jake Gyllenhaal's actions like just didn't make sense. Like he just seemed so fucking so immature. It was just like impossible for me to care about him or feel bad for him past a certain point. Like in the beginning I understood like yeah, okay, he's like a frustrated guy. And then like he just kept like doing dumber and dumber shit. And I just stopped giving a fuck. It's like the same issue I had with BoJack
I started
Horseman.
disliking him, and that felt like the point. So I was on board.
Well, I also didn't feel like that was the point, which I think is part of the issue I had. Is I didn't feel like the point was to dislike him. I felt like the point was to feel bad for him, which I didn't at all. And you shouldn't.
Well, it
He's
is a
an
remake.
absolute fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's
That's doesn't matter that
still
it's
the
a
point.
remake. That's irrelevant to
what
to me as a
I'm not.
viewer.
I'm not. That wasn't an excuse. I was saying I'm gonna try to find the original and watch it. See how that one goes.
Yeah. No, and
think
that
it's
broken
called- I don't
people
remember what
save
it's
broken people thing. I
That
I was
that
watching
line-
the movie and procrastinating from doing something. And I was like,
I
"Fuck
had-
you," and
I-
closed the movie and went and did whatever.
I
had to do.
rewound it because it looks like it's cut out of something else. Like it looks like she opens the door, like says, "Hey, what's up?" and then like something is said that they cut out. and then it's just left with the broken people line, which is like entirely fucking out of place. That's the only explanation I can find it, because like otherwise it's just her going, "Hey, what's up? Oh, broken people, right?" It's like, you don't know what the fuck I've been up to.
Yeah, it's, like he had been keeping everyone else, also like keeping everyone else out of the loop and shit. Like it was weird.
Yeah, that's. I feel like
Some of it made sense as like him being angry, and
they play on tropes,
some of
but I
it,
don't
his
think he's.
frustration
Yeah,
didn't justify his action. Like him being frustrated, even like to me, if someone was actually frustrated in that situation, they still would not make that stupid ass decision. Some of them were decisions made out of frustration, and then others were decisions where frustration wouldn't lead you to make that decision. Like anger wouldn't lead you on that path. And it was just like he just fucking did shit that didn't make sense sometimes.
yeah. No, yeah, but I like I said, I feel like that.
And then he cries for 10 minutes and then the movie ends.
Yep.
Bill Burr was in it. Did you catch that?
Yeah, Bill Burr's in it. Paul Dano plays the guy that gets robbed.
Also, the plot twist, which I'm gonna go ahead and spoil because I don't really have any respect for this movie at all,
Wow,
of
that's
like
strong.
that she was insane the whole time,
Yep.
whatever. That makes the first phone call not make any fucking sense.
Why?
How is she put together enough to like someone who doesn't understand the difference between snakes and her son's intestines, which cool, like neat plot twist.
No, that's stuff that she
Um,
sees.
right. But then she's like put together enough to play like she's being abducted.
To,
And then when he calls the guy,
no, she
like
believes she's being abducted.
I don't know,
I,
because
I've
she
met I've met some
basically
genuinely crazy people, and that was not out of the realm of possibility for me.
she came across as like she never fully understood what was going on. Once they revealed that she had mental issues, then it seemed like she never fully understood what was going on around her. But, earlier on, she's like, very understanding of the situation and
But
is
that's
like smart enough
yeah.
to, call the cops and pretend to do whatever, which stems from the actual 911 call that's actually pretty neat. That's worth listening to, of the woman who's like her husband or whatever was
Yeah,
fucking her
yeah.
up, and she called 911 and like wanted to order a pizza. But also another thing too is how long that call goes. The fact that he let her call anyone at all. He like
Well, no, because that makes sense whenever you realize that he wasn't abducting her.
okay, I'll give it
That
that.
makes sense. That makes
But
sense because
also that she just sat there
he
saying
thinks she's
yes
talking
and
to the
no.
daughter, and and that does make sense, because like he's sitting there going like, um, if the girl is talking to her daughter, then the daughter's not roaming around the house,
Yeah, I guess
looking at the
that
dead
makes
son.
sense.
So I mean, that all. I thought it did a good
But
job.
I think there was some dialogue in the background where he sounded like, in the beginning,
Where he sounded pissed because she just knifed his fucking son. Yeah, I might.
I don't know. It didn't. It seemed like it was pretty inconsistent with just the feel of it. I can't place exactly what it was, but that first phone call
What
doesn't
I
make sense to me. Doesn't play right to me
where,
with the plot twist.
okay. Where I think the dissonance is, and I kind of agree with you, is that I think they purposefully write him as somebody that isn't likable, or that is making wrong. Not. Yeah, he's written as somebody that should be unlikable, and then they try to shoot it like he should be likable, so that you're kind of so that the audience feels like they're on his side while he's fucking up. You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
know. I thought it didn't do it right at all. Flight did it great. I did rewatch Flight kind of recently, like a month or two ago.
I never saw that
That's
movie.
fucking dude. That movie's fantastic. You gotta watch Flight. Flight's fantastic. That it's got sort of a similar thing. big picture, where like he's, you know, he's an alcoholic basically is what he's struggling with. For most of the movie, and it causes problems and shit, and it's just like it's incredible.
Wow,
Also,
what a pussy.
uh, what's her name, Catalina or Katarina from My Name Is Earl? She gets naked in the beginning of the movie.
That's pretty cool.
That's the reason I watched it. That's funny. There's been two. I watched Flight, which is really good, and Glow, which I really enjoyed, which were both things that I only watched because Dad said. Like,
How's the no
in
porn
Glow,
thing
you
going,
get to
by the
see
way?
Allison Brie's tits, and then in Flight, you get to see what's her face's tits. She's
How,
like, yeah, you got to watch this movie. She
is
gets
it no
naked in the
porn or no
beginning.
beating off? I can't remember what you were doing.
Oh, no porn? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have fallen.
Oh man.
But I will rise
Yeah, you
again,
will.
stronger than before, starting now.
I was. How long did you make it though?
What, 7 days? I
That's
don't
not
know.
bad. That's
It's
pretty
like
good.
the third. That's not.
That's about
That's
7 times
pretty
longer than
bad
I
for
usually make
something
it.
that's like not hard to not do. It's like I just kind of was like, nah.
It was the muscle memory.
Yeah.
You
Like,
were already
well,
there.
yeah, it wasn't like, struggling with like an addiction or whatever. It was just like, eh. It wasn't this great
This trial and tribute,
yeah, like trying to like
like
Jim
Chris Rock.
Carrey with the blue pen in
Yeah,
Liar Liar, but it's just my right hand trying to get my dick out.
I was gonna try to make a pun from that scene, but I can't. I can't do it.
That's a fun time. That's a good movie.
Liar, liar.
Yeah.
I'm not a
It's
big
pretty
Jim
good.
Carrey fan, but Liar, liar is a good movie. Liar, liar is a
I'm
good time.
I never watched Ace Ventura,
Oh, I hate
which
Ace Ventura.
yeah, which I know people that like don't like him. A lot of it comes from that. I mean I think he's kind of,
He
as a person I'm not a fan of him, but as an actor he's really good.
he's made some slip ups as a person, but
Truman
overall I think
Show,
he's okay.
Truman Show is he's incredible.
Yeah,
Liar Liar, he's like no one else could do Liar Liar. Like try and picture anyone else playing that character, and
it
it
needed a
doesn't.
goofy guy,
It needed
he's a goofy guy,
it needed exactly his, not just a goofy guy though. Like it needed him.
right?
Like he towed that line perfectly in that movie. And then Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, he was pretty good. I
That
gotta
was a
watch that again
good movie. I like little rom coms, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
though. You know what's a great rom com is Palm Springs.
Haven't
It's on
seen it.
Hulu.
Who's
It's
in
on
it?
Hulu. Andy Samberg.
I
And
You're gonna have to sell it to me now because I don't
no,
like
he's
him.
good. He's he is he belongs in that movie. It works. It doesn't do like goofy over the top shit. He's a pretty grounded character. And
I just don't like. I don't like him.
what have you seen him in that you don't like him in?
Well, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I don't like. I don't like any of his SNL sketches. I'm too. Here's the thing. I'm so funny that people that are less funny than me are. It's like grating. You know.
Yeah, you've
Like
surpassed
If Beethoven had to sit around and listen to like Nickelback all the
Andy
time.
Samberg. Yeah, if Beethoven had
Actually,
to
no, I
watch
envy
Brooklyn
Beethoven.
Nine-Nine.
He wasn't hearing shit. He was like, I'm
I've
gonna listen
never
to my
watched
own
Brooklyn
music the rest of
Nine-Nine.
my
I've
life.
watched clips of it on
Yeah.
YouTube and enjoyed them, but I definitely never like any clip that has his friend in it.
He's like a
His friend
shitty.
that's like always sucking up to him.
Yeah. He's like a shitty.
Um, and also all the emotional beats don't land for me. But I'm also watching clips on
Sean
YouTube. So I
Spencer.
don't know if that's
He's
fair.
a shitty psych, is what he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's James Roday, but you know, from Dollar General.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, no, he's not like his Brooklyn Nine-Nine character in fucking Palm Springs. Palm Springs is a good one.
He's got a weird way of talking.
It's got J.K. Simmons too.
That's good. Speaking of, I was gonna watch Oz. Yeah, that's good.
Oz the show?
Yeah.
Didn't that have
Stabler.
Yeah, Stabler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've seen the one scene on YouTube where the guy says faggot over and over, louder and louder for like 35 seconds.
I remember that.
He goes from like saying it and then he just starts screaming.
Faggot.
It like gradually escalates
Faggot.
for like a full minute. It's pretty great.
I
Especially
heard
that like I have no idea why he's doing it. So it's pretty.
I heard the term banjo eyes from that show, which apparently is racist. And
Banjo eyes? I've
yeah.
never heard that.
apparently it dates back to like minstrel shows. Like blackface.
The only unique racist phrase I've ever heard was pinche llantas,
which is tires, yeah.
which is fucking tires from from one of my Mexican amigos, referring to the telephone game.
The telephone game people.
Yeah, the people that game was inspired by.
Jesus Christ! Shut up.
I wish I knew why I wrote "ass hurts" in my phone. I'm reading it.
I wish I knew why I wrote the thing about the Asian
over and
family.
over.
That looks like a full-on thought that I had that I just have no context for anymore.
Let's see, the guilty. I had that in my phone. Address that. Do you remember 9/11? I have in here.
I
So
do
you?
actually.
Oh yeah, because I was talking to a guy who was born the same year as you, and I was wondering because he was saying he remembered like the whole day.
Yeah, we were sitting there in the kindergarten classroom, right, and watching the planes just fucking slam into this fucking building, and this kid, and I remember this kid, Nick. He's sitting next to me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was there." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, you know what?" I was like, "I grabbed." I'm sure he said it way more like a kindergartner, but I'm gonna say it how I remember it. You know? He's like, "Yeah, you know, like it was going in. I grabbed one of the parachutes, jumped out." Like while this is happening, this is an active scenario. And I was like,
this would have been in Pensacola,
no shit.
right?
Yeah, it was.
No,
Yeah,
this would, or was it? Yeah,
it was Pensacola.
So, and from
yeah, motherfucker went.
This fucking superhero jumps out of a plane in New York.
Yeah,
and still came to school that day.
Yeah, proud
which
of
was
him.
really good for him.
You know, he knows what's really important.
I had a friend named Nick.
I think everybody has.
But I barely remember him. I watched Daredevil at his house.
Oh, you know what? That was the kid that lives that he lived in
He lived across
Yeah.
the road there. In
Yeah,
one
I
of the
remember
other
him.
neighborhoods. I don't remember. I remember we got in an argument once. I don't know if that was
Probably
the last
about
time.
how Daredevil sucked.
I don't know if that was the last time we talked, like if we had an argument and quit talking, or if I just quit fucking hanging out with him. I don't remember. Oh, I watched Men in Black at his house too.
A banger.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. You remember? Did you? Oh, you never met Paul, Carl's friend, Paul.
No, I didn't meet Paul.
When I started hanging out with Carl, he had a friend named Paul. He was our age, and like my first interaction with him, I made like a joke about like a slightly, talking shit, but like very clearly like, very clearly like friendly like quip about something. And he like started like asking me, he was like, "Oh, like you want to fucking find out or some shit?" Like got in my face about it immediately, and instantly disliked him. And then Carl would try and defend him to me, but then he would tell me a different story about Paul some other time, where I'm like, yeah, this is a piece of shit that you're describing to me right now. Like, this is not someone I want to spend time with. I think I only hung out with him and Carl maybe 2 more times. The dude's in prison now. He killed somebody.
Oh, what a bow.
Straight up murdered somebody.
That guy wanted to go.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't, honestly. Now that we know what he's capable of.
Him and Carl had a Red Dead Online gang called For Us Crackers Only.
Like the original Red Dead?
Yeah, when they were younger.
That's awesome.
Which, if Carl was the only one involved, I'd be like, a good bit. But, like, Paul definitely was a white supremacist. Like, absolutely. I'll bet $100 that whoever he killed was a minority.
Do you remember Paul, the kid that had his dad was French Canadian?
Was that his dad, was the fucking engineer,
Yeah.
fucking rewired their whole house and
Yeah,
shit?
like the air conditioner ran through he had the jacuzzi
The heat sink
was heated.
Yeah, was the heat sink.
Yeah, the jacuzzi was heated by the circulate. Anyway,
yeah.
I remember first time, not the first time, but one time whenever I was staying over at his house, we didn't have
Oh, you
internet.
it's 26 minutes in. You said his last name.
Oh yeah.
We'll get that.
Okay, well, so
he's gonna be really mad when he listens to this.
Yeah, probably, or he knows and is like, but anyway, he probably has his own version of the story. We didn't have internet, right? So I'm over at this kid. Every time I went over to somebody with internet's house, I was like going nuts, like looking shit up.
We didn't have internet?
Like YouTube. We didn't have internet in like our rooms and shit. Like we didn't have any personal device with internet.
Yeah.
You could rig the PSP to get some stuff sometimes, but we didn't even have Wi-Fi for like ever.
Yeah. Yeah, we came into that shit pretty late.
Dude,
I still watched VHS for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was telling people. Like, I was like, "Oh, how do you know about this shit?" And I was like, "Because we were 10 years behind fucking everybody."
We were listening to Alice's Restaurant on fucking
tape decks.
Tape.
Yeah,
yeah, tape decks in
the fucking Looney Tunes soundtrack.
In the Chrysler Town and Country.
Yeah,
that went to the shop like 46 times before.
I think it was 39 times in 1 year.
Nice.
Yeah, she was really happy with that car.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm over at Paul, whoever's house, and Paulie. I wish I could do a French Canadian accent because it's one of my favorite fucking joke accents.
I've been watching some interviews with Denis Villeneuve, so I might be able to get there someday.
Yeah. Paul, come to the dinner table. It's like a weird Canadian.
That's your French Canadian.
Yeah. Not good.
Okay.
Anyway,
what happened?
He let me borrow his iPod Touch, and I had it, and I was like, oh my god, it's like this is the fucking internet. So I'm sitting there.
It up with porn.
I'm sitting there googling porn for probably. Dude, I'm in 8th grade. It's gotta be 9 hours straight. I don't sleep. So the next day I'm like, all right, cool, clear history. And cleared the history, and then you go on Google and tap right, and your recent searches come up. and the thing is that you can't on that iPad or iPod. I don't know if you could or not, but I certainly couldn't fucking figure out how to fucking clear the Google searches. So I fucking oh no, I just give them back. I give them back.
You just gave it back?
Yeah, I just was like, oh well.
You had fucking naked boob 700 times going down the screen, and you were just like, "Oh, I tried." This is out of my hands.
Michael. One time we were sitting on the we were sitting on the couch, and Brendan was like, "Oh, I want to show you guys a video," and he clicks on his history.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "What the hell?" And, and the best part was, it wasn't like stuff like, it was like, it was just hot chick, hot chick, boobs, hot chick, boobs.
You can always tell, like, that's someone with drive. This is someone who stands apart from the rest of society.
Hold
And they're
on,
not.
it gets better. Hot chick boobs jogging.
Oh yes.
Hot chick, big boobs. Like my head screenshotted
You
it
can
because
see
it was,
like the evolution of.
because we weren't that young. Like it was, this was like early, this was late middle school. Like we were not that.
I don't
young.
remember when. I'm really bad at remembering like when shit happened in my life, unless I have like an event to reference it to.
Dude, we were passing around the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, dude. I remember. I think Mom found it.
I
in the
figured out how to
garages.
turn off the search restrictions because I ended up getting my own iPod Touch at
Yeah.
one point, and I figured out how to turn off Safe Search, and then I remember rocking beautiful boobs on Google Images for a while. That was my go-to for long enough that I still remember because I don't remember like anything else that I looked up, but I remember like I would try to find other shit, and I'd be like, "This is I need to go back to just looking like typing in beautiful boobs and fucking going to Google Images."
Get back to my roots, you know.
Yeah.
Google's
Shit,
really gone
right.
away. I remember whenever if you turn Safe Search off originally, you could be Googling fucking anything, and you'd be getting some really fucking weird Google images on there. Like, not even like porn related. Like, you could be Googling like,
Well, I think it's gotten better at like knowing what you're
Plywood.
actually looking for,
yeah,
like finding shit that's actually relevant.
and
instead of
probably
showing you porn
it
when you're
filtering
trying
out the porn probably. It doesn't do it all the way. Like, if you search specifically for something, it'll show it to you. But
Well, yeah, if you put porn at the end.
I'm
or
sure
whatever.
if I Google beautiful boobs right now, how long do you think it'll be before I even like see a nipple?
Let's take a look.
Let's give it a shot.
Let me take that for a spin. We'll just both go quiet and look at porn for the rest of this episode.
Oh yeah, that's good.
No, yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh yeah, that's good. All right, how long
No,
have you seen a
it's-
nipple yet?
Yeah, immediately.
Really? All right, I'm
Yeah.
googling beautiful boobs. Oh, I searched beautiful and I got Christina Aguilera. Beautiful.
No, yeah. No, I
boobs.
think you're. I don't think you're quite right
Images.
with your assessment there.
Oh yeah, like right the fuck away. That's somebody getting cummed all over. Camed on. Some... This chick has a dick.
It's like
So
the
she can
difference
come on
between hanged
herself.
and hung. One is when it kills you.
Oh, that's a fucking. that goes
She was
split in
camed.
half. I'm not having fun anymore. This is just like the closest up picture of a nipple I've ever seen in my life. Like it's like all blurry and shit. It's just like zoomed in as possible.
That was a great Arrested Development bit where what's the guy's name? Henry Winkler, I think, is the actor.
Yeah.
His character was always like a pervert, you know? Like there would always be a running joke about that in some
Yeah.
way. And my favorite line of his is they do a flashback, like he was like, "Oh, I couldn't make it, like I had a date or something," and then it cuts to like him pulling up to a prostitute on the street and going, "You're not one of those weird like guys dressed up as a man, are you?" And she goes, "Nah, baby, I'm the real thing," and he fucking peels away. And then yeah, there's a great one where they think they have like a picture of like something in Iraq. And then he's the one who identifies that it's just balls. It's just a close-up picture of balls. Like, oh, those are balls. Yeah, at that angle, they kind of look like a landscape. He's like totally just casual about it as soon as he sees the picture.
How many balls have you seen? Like,
Me?
That man's seen stuff.
I've seen a lot of
Although,
balls.
yeah, no. Now I gotta ask, how many balls have you seen?
Pairs or I mean.
I don't know. Do you usually see them one at a time?
Well, sometimes you only get one.
Sometimes one just sort of like peeks into the frame, you know?
Yeah, there's this bit somebody came up with where they go, "You want some bubble gum?" And they take one. They position so one of their nuts is out while they're sitting, and then they'll like call you over and be like, "You want some bubble gum?" And it's just one of their balls is out. That's the joke. That's the whole joke. This is a thing that like Marines did a
What?
lot.
I'm gonna do that in my job.
Yeah.
All right, is my internet working? Yeah, I gotta go. And hey, you want some gum?
Just got one more question. You want? Come over here real quick. No, yeah, I've seen a lot of balls.
I haven't seen a ton, if I'm being honest.
I've seen a shitload.
He's got that 1,000-ball stare.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all showered together. There was like
Oh, fair.
100 and whatever, and we all showered at the same time. And then, yeah, that's the majority of it.
Why were you looking at everybody's balls?
There's just no avoiding it.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
You're gay.
There's honestly, no one's look. I remember like when I first got there, that was kind of in the back of my mind. Like eventually, like I'm gonna have to get naked in front of all these dudes. Like that's gonna be weird. And then it's just the last thing on your mind. Like you're just miserable. Like you're all in a line. Like they're counting you down. Like drill instructors are there, like counting you down, yelling. Like it's weird to be in a crowd of naked men being screamed at.
Yeah.
And then
I
yeah,
think
you
some
just
people pay good
go
money
out.
for that.
Yeah, I get paid for that. So
Oh, wow. You heard it
yeah,
here first. Join the Marines, if that's your thing.
yeah,
That's all they do. Literally nothing else.
yeah. I mean, there's like, there's a lot of homophobia, especially in the military, and like when people talk about, you know, situations like that. Like even if you're gay, and there's some, and your platoon is just, I don't know, Channing Tatum's, just
Yeah.
everyone.
Well,
Like you're not. It's still you're not happy.
yeah, I was about to say, like, imagine you.
The situation is not erotic.
Yeah, you're in a crowd of beautiful women, right? But
Yeah,
you're
I would have
getting
been just as miserable
yeah, you're
surrounded
getting your
by
ass
fucking
whooped the whole time.
yeah,
Which again, I guess some people pay good money for, but you know,
yeah.
I
The
almost got
women,
paid to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember you talking about you were like thinking about it. I
Yeah,
was
because
like,
they were
here we
like
go.
they so there was a I used to want to be an actor, and
Right,
you know the only way to break in if you're a you know
gay
a
porn.
doe-eyed starlet like me is well it was like casting for males, and it's like no nudity. We're just gonna have some women like beat the shit out of you. I was like, I'm not really. It's not really my thing. And they're like, it's $80 an hour. And I was like,
Hmm.
it's kind of my thing, I guess.
But it was for like an adult film.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, and I sent them a thing, and they're like, oh yeah, dude, great. Like you got a little bitch face. You're
Yeah.
perfect. and, and they go like, all right, yeah. We just got one question. It's like, they're gonna be stepping on your balls. I'm like, no, they're not. I will go. I had to turn that down. I started another job, picking up used condoms and heroin needles. So I guess it was more of a lateral move, but for a lot less pay. So should have gotten my fucking nuts stepped on. Now that I think about it.
Probably not.
Speaking of weird things for money, you ever had somebody match with you? So I've had this happen twice. 3 times. Somebody matches with me on Tinder and they're like, "Hey, if I get to film my boyfriend blowing you, I'll pay you $500."
Okay.
It's always in the neighborhood of like a dude offered me $600. Not on Tinder. That was on Meet Me. So I got
Grindr?
messaged by the guy. Yeah, on my on Grindr.
It's on LinkedIn.
But yeah, this happens to you guys, right? So it happens to everybody.
I keep getting hit up on LinkedIn with homosexual pornographic propositions.
So I'm seeing here that you have a lot of experience with Microsoft Office. You've got your bachelor's in
You get some good stomping
accounting.
balls.
You got some balls I'd like to step on, and those are some dick sucking lips, my guy.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
No.
You can get your dick sucked by a guy for $500?
No.
Pussy.
I've had this conversation a million times. In the field, we would try and find where like everyone's line is.
Yeah.
And
What's yours?
especially the ones who are like really uncomfortable with the conversation. Those are the ones you like go after.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, $10 million, I'll do pretty much anything. I'd probably kill somebody who didn't deserve it for $10 million.
Yeah, I do ungodly things for $10 million. That's not really a
Just
line at
about
all.
anything.
Yeah.
$10 million is $100,000 a year for 100 years.
I wouldn't eat shit for $10 million.
For $10 million,
No, I don't think I'd eat shit.
I would eat shit.
No, I'd
You're
haunt me.
crazy.
That would wreck my whole life.
It would wreck your life. You're
Yeah.
you're insane.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a perfectly fine line to have.
It would just be a miserable day, and then you're done. It's not gonna like haunt you.
Yes, it will.
You think you'll be haunted by eating shit?
I'm haunted by
Traumatized.
one of those shock videos getting sent my way of somebody else eating shit. It was not 2 Girls, 1 Cup. It was somebody eating shit, and I still have a hard time.
I'd send it. I'd full send.
Full
Especially if I can drink. If I can like get hammered.
Yeah.
I get fucking stupid drunk. Eat a whole bowl of shit with some
Okay,
milk.
yeah. If I can get shit hammered, I guess that also helps.
That'd be the most ideal situation. Is someone propositions you for some ludicrous amount of money,
What about like
$10
bitch
million,
slapping?
and then you have to let me like fuck you in the ass, and you have to suck my dick, and then I would be like, okay, can I get drunk? And they're like, sure, and then I just get blackout drunk. Wake up the next day.
What about something that's
my ass
potentially
hurts. I
what
got
about
$10
something that's
million.
potentially lethal?
Probably not.
Like $10 million, you go bitch slap this Asian giant hornet nest.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. What about sprint across like 275? $10 million.
I mean, that's like I just have to. I can choose when I go.
Yeah, but I guess it's more like you'd have to imagine there'd be traffic, right?
I guess
Well, there's like a time limit. How about
that
that?
seems like a really
Like stopwatch goes, you got a time limit.
that seems like something that's really hard to control the rules of.
No, you get a time limit.
Oh, to cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to. It's not like being a GTA character and someone's holding forward on the left stick. Like I could kind of put the moves on them, break some ankles.
Yeah, at that point, I guess it doesn't really matter because either you would have died and wouldn't have had your 10 million anyway, or you make it and you get your 10 million.
Well, no, that's. I mean, death isn't. Death is probably the least likely of
Getting
all the
hit
scenarios.
by a car
Yeah.
going like 75 miles an hour.
A car's not going to be going 75 miles an hour.
It's gonna be
Car's
hitting
be
its brakes.
broken. Yeah.
No. These guys have it set up.
They don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Frogger.
scenario is just getting stupider.
What? No, you're finding ways to like make it realistic. I was saying like the concept of having to run across a fucking highway for $10 million, right? Not
Maybe
like the
that's maybe
realistic
that's a shitty
scenario.
concept.
Nobody's
if I
offering you
have
$10
to-
million to fucking do anything. So I don't know why this has to be.
Yeah,
so
but I've been
fucking-
coming up with realistic scenarios. Somebody
Right?
says $10
Yeah.
million,
Okay.
I
Fine.
gotta
Realistic
fuck in the
scenario.
ass and fuck in the
Fine.
mouth.
$10 million. You have to. I'm thinking of something gross, but I don't even want to fucking say it.
Ooh, what is it?
$10 million. $10 million. You got to eat out a family member.
Which one?
You get to pick.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Jesus Christ.
I'll just find someone I've never met that's a woman.
What do you mean? No, like no further than like a second cousin.
No further than what you just cut out.
Like a second cousin.
I'm sure there's second cousins. I don't know.
That's still.
Yeah, it's still incest, but it's easy on me.
Jesus.
I mean,
First
what
cousins.
makes it feel. I mean, yeah, genetically, there's other things, but like, what makes it feel weird to think about, like, with your family members, is that like you think of them as family. If it's
Yeah.
a stranger,
Right.
you know, I could get past that. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be pleased. Probably, you know, would likely not find her attractive. But yeah, I'd offer her $1 million to let me eat her out. I'd start low. I'd offer her like $200,000.
Listen, these guys.
Honestly, I could probably do a lot. I'll be
these-
like $50,000.
These guys are gonna
if
give
you
me
let me eat you
400
out.
grand, and we could split it.
Yeah, this guy offered me $100,000 for me to eat you out.
We
And
could split it
honestly, if
between
she
the two of us.
refuses, I'd still make it happen. For 10 million, I'd make it happen.
Gee.
I'd figure it out. Yeah. Cool. So,
Yeah, great talk.
who's got the money?
Hit us up. Somebody sends us $10
I'll
million
make
on
a
Patreon. Steven,
I'll make the
Steven will eat out one of
Patreon
his
option that's
one
$10
of our
million,
cousins.
and it's gonna be entitled "Eat Out My Second Cousin." I don't even know.
That I said
a
at
second
most.
cousin?
What if we don't have any second cousins, dude?
Do we have? Can you name any second? Well, probably shouldn't, but can you?
Second? I don't know
think
what.
I can name any second cousin.
What's the demarcation of a second cousin?
It would be like
Would that be
Your-
like grandfather's sisters, like grandsons, or
I think it would be
granddaughters?
like uncles.
like a
So
third?
like okay, so your uncle's kids would be your cousins.
Right. Your uncle's
But
brothers'
then yeah,
kids.
it would be your great uncle's kids, wouldn't it?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist.
Well, I'm no phlebotomist.
You hear that?
I did, yeah.
I was wearing pants this time, so it was quieter.
Oh, I thought that was like you like drinking water.
No, I farted.
That didn't sound like a fart. It sounded...
It was, yeah.
Will you stop farting on the fucking light? Oh my god. Was that a fart?
What? What are you...
The fucking noise. There was another fucking noise.
No, I put a
Oh,
pen
that
down.
was the chair. Oh, okay.
It's a pen.
See, that's what the first one sounded like.
That's not what you're saying.
I'm talking. You don't know what it sounded like. You'll hear.
I'm right next to it. I can tell you exactly.
I know what it sounds like to
I can
you.
tell you exactly what the fuck it sounds like. I'm sitting right on top of it.
What would you rate it?
It wasn't. No, it was, I don't know, 4, 3. It wasn't great.
Well, there's been some peaks and valleys tonight, I think.
I had I told you I've been going go-karting recently.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
The brakes failed. Like straight up just didn't work.
You don't need those.
No, I like
Your lap
it was
time should have gotten better.
it was at the end of the fastest straight. And
Right.
I was actually racing someone, so like I'm, cutting it as late as I can on the braking.
Yeah.
And then I brake and it's just not. And
Just
like
nothing.
I'm swinging my turn and it's a 180-degree turn too.
Yeah.
But it's wide. It's got room because they know like people run off there and shit.
Yeah.
But it still has tires lining the outside. And so I swing the turn like as wide as I can. And I remember like leaning over and looking at my foot because I just thought I missed the pedal somehow.
Yeah.
Which you really can't because, like go-kart pedals are like they cradle your foot.
Yeah.
And then I plowed through the fucking tires, and then there were like tires that were like halfway in the ground too. Past
Oh
those.
no.
And so I like jumped one of like, and it, you think of like a jump in a vehicle, you're thinking like going up a ramp, but it's not. You just hit hard, and then you
It
go up.
hops. Yeah.
And yeah, last time I did that, I wasn't happy, so I wasn't really happy with this one either. And like ended up on the side and shit. And then I got out, and one of the race guys comes over, and I'm like, the brakes, like they just stopped working. They just stopped working. And he comes over, and like we lay the cart down, and then he gets in front of it and pulls the cart forward, but like pulls the brake first, and it doesn't move. Or no, it does move. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the brakes don't work, so it does move. And it rolls like on the grass too, which it kind of shouldn't do that
Yeah.
easily. And so then I was like, well, we picked it up and put it back on the track, and then I just drove it back really slow. And then I pulled into the pit, and the pit guy comes over, and I got out. And I was like, yeah, the brakes just failed on this. Like, they just don't work. And he does the same thing. He gets down in front of it, pulls the brake, and then pulls the cart, and it doesn't move. And he just looks at me like I'm fucking retarded. And I was furious. I was like, God damn it. And just went,
They might have
go talk
overheated.
to him. Go ask him. Go ask him. Like, I just started saying that. Because I was, I didn't want them to think that I was a shitty driver and was going to fuck their track up, because then they don't let you go fast. They don't tell you to slow down if you're going fast. They tell you to slow down if you're, like, losing control and shit. And, I had never, like, I'd spun out once before because we were racing with some other guy who was trying to drift every corner. So when I went to overtake him, he didn't know I was behind him, tried to drift, and I thought he was just losing control. So I slammed the brakes and locked up and did a little spin. But yeah, I was like, otherwise had not been treating their shit really well. Like, had never, like, not even bumping the tires on the side, not
Yeah.
even a little glancing blow. And also just murdering everybody at the track because I'm just
Awesome.
that good.
It's probably all you fucking do is go to that fucking thing.
Well, then, yeah, so then, like, I walked back, and they served liquor there, too, which is great, and was, like, I was really unhappy with the, it was kind of like the same feeling that I got when I woke up to the Mazda leaving the road at 70 miles an hour in the desert.
Yeah.
and I don't. It's not a good feeling to have, and so that's when I got a drink, and they don't water shit down either. Like they came back, like I ordered a vodka, and then they came back with like a whiskey glass, like half full, you know, but it costs like what a shot should cost. So I was like, oh, this has to be watered down. So I killed it, and then it wasn't. I was like, oh, cool. And then I got back on the track, and the track just had like the fucking the numbers and shit floating around my head,
Yeah.
like doing the calculations on the track, dude. And it just like clicked, and I got like, I had been racing and I'd been timing myself. I had like my smartwatch, and I would hit the lap button every time I crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
And in this kart the day before, I was getting, I think the fastest time I got was a 37 flat. And then that night, I started timing myself in that same cart when I went back out after having a couple drinks, and got like sub 36s over and over and over and over and over, like consistently over a second faster than the best time I could get the day before.
You're fucking hitting the button
Yeah,
early.
bro, it was awesome. And it was definitely like yeah, there could have been, different tires or whatever, but like when I went back out on that track, like shit just felt different. Like it just made sense. I was taking the corners way better. So that's my PSA about why you should always drink before you drive.
Well, if you can't drink and drive, you shouldn't drive at all.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they always say.
Yeah. That car accident, I don't think. Yeah, I haven't told that story. Did I even tell you the full story?
I heard. No, you like woke up. Is what I heard. Is the story.
Yeah, like I had flown into Vegas after Christmas break, because it's Vegas and LAX are like equidistant from 29 Palms, but LA has traffic. So like LA's, I think a 2 hour and 50-minute drive to 29 Palms, I want to say,
Right.
with no traffic. So you can get there in like less than 3 hours, and then you'll literally drive back for 5 hours. And so Vegas doesn't have that. So I flew in there, had coordinated with a buddy of mine that he's gonna come pick me up, and I landed at like midnight, and I had connected in like Dallas Fort Worth, and like it's a long, like I had done some shit, and I'm pretty sure I got good and drunk the night before, so I looked and felt my very best. And so I told him, like, dude, I'm tired of shit. But if at any point like you feel like you might, well, first I asked him, like, I was like, you good for the drive back? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a nap. But I was like, if you feel tired or anything, like, feel free to wake me up. Like, we'll bullshit. I'll keep you awake, because I know this drive, kind of sucks. And the drive back is not on the interstate. It's only on the interstate for like 45 minutes, I think. But if you actually stay on the interstate to go back to 29 Palms, you go like north and around, and then to the 10, and then you're like an hour to the west. So it adds like an hour to your drive if you do that. Or you can take all these desert back roads where no one goes, where like anarchists live, like Hills Have Eyes type shit is like based on them, and like people actually go missing out there.
It's
Like, I
fast.
remember before I left, like there were missing. I went out. I don't go out into town a lot
Yeah.
because it's a shitty town, but I did go out and like ran a couple errands, and there were a couple different places that all had like missing persons posters for this woman who had, I guess, stopped out there, and they found her car like vandalized, and they're not gonna find her because they'll set up traps. And they'll have someone like wave you down by the side of the road, like asking for help, and then they just take you. So no one stops out there. And so I fell asleep and wake up to the road leaving the headlights. It was a left turn, and he had fallen asleep. And it's like a median. God damn, dude. I'm just breaking up thinking about it. I got some shit in my throat. There's like a sandy kind of median, and then there's spots in the desert out there where it's like really, really soft sand, and then there's like kind of rocky sand that's like harder packed, and has like bigger chunks of rock and shit. And we were on that, and so there's like a good sized little berm, and then so we go off like through the median. He's screaming like I've never heard a human scream, and then we hit the berm, and it's like just fucking rocks you, and then we're in the air going directly at a telephone pole. And you've seen like pictures and shit of like cars wrapped around telephone poles and shit, so it doesn't seem good. And I remember he was screaming, and I literally, like, no shit, fucking, like, was looking at the pole, like we made eye contact, and the telephone pole and I, and then I just like relaxed, like closed my eyes, and to myself went like, oh man, and just like then got the shit beat out of me, and then the car came to a stop on the passenger side down, so I couldn't get out, and he's still like screaming. He's also screaming because he borrowed the car. He had borrowed another friend's car
Oh my god.
because he had like a lifted truck, and he didn't want to do that long ass drive in the truck because he gets dog shit gas mileage. So he borrowed somebody's, like, it's one of the regular like Mazda coupe, like,
Yeah.
and so yeah, he's like, oh my god, the car, dude, the fucking car, oh my god. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm trying to keep him, or I'm trying to calm him down, because I'm also trying to stay calm myself, because I really, really want to get out of the car. I'm like kind of about to freak out and really want to get out of the car, but I can't until he does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just calm down. Like, it's good. Don't worry about the car right now. Just see if you can get your seatbelt off. Like, I'm trying to talk him through this, and I'm like with my right hand like pulling on my door handle that's against the ground, like trying to open my door, like not
Does it have a
really thinking.
sunroof?
And I don't think so.
I thought I saw the
I'm pretty
pictures
sure it
and I,
didn't.
and I thought I saw one, but I wasn't looking that hard.
I can look actually, but no, I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, then we get out and we're looking behind the car,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't. We kind of like we talked for a bit, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we had both seen. I was like, you saw that telephone pole, right? He's like, yeah. And then like we're looking behind the car, and it doesn't line up with a telephone pole. Like, like we
Yeah.
hadn't even come close to one, and so we were really confused. And then I called the cops. Well, first I called my section chief at like, I think it was like 2:06 in the morning. And he answers, and he's like, what? And he knows it can't be good. I'm like, hey, dude, uh, we got in like a little car accident, but we're fine. But the car is definitely totaled. And he's like, you guys are sure you're good? There's no sunroof, by the way. I just looked at a picture. I was like, yeah. I was like, should I call the cops? He's like, yeah, you probably should. So I call the cops. Then I have to run and go find a mile marker, because I don't know where the fuck we are. Like, there's no light at all. The moon wasn't out, and in the desert, when like the moon's not out, you
It's dark.
can't see. You can see like 20 feet away, and that's it. And yeah, so I run up to find it because I called 911. We found his phone still had the GPS open, but he didn't even have service, and I barely had service. But he had the name of the road. And so then I ran up and found a mile marker. And then when I was running back, I swore I heard like a scream. And I start like running back. I was like, hey, like calling his name, like, are you good? He's like, yeah, what's up? It's like, you good? And like, finally got close enough to where I could see him. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, did you hear that? He's like, hear what? It's like, fuck, man. I'm not feeling this.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to
That's
go
the
home.
most unsafe I've ever felt in my life, dude. It took 3 hours for the cops to show up.
Jesus.
Yeah. If we had been hurt, I mean, there's no,
You'd be dead.
we would be fucking dead. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because the cop, I told, like, when I called 911, like, I told them we were fine, so they weren't, booking it over there.
Right.
But like, honestly, even if you were fucking flying in an ambulance, you're looking at least like well over an hour just to get to us from the nearest hospital.
Yeah.
And but yeah, then the cops show up and they're like, "So what happened?" Like we're standing next to this car that's on its side, and we're like, "Yeah, we were coming from Vegas and going back to 29 Palms because I just flew in tonight." And I'm pointing while I'm talking, and they're like, "You're going to 29 Palms?" And we're like, "Yeah." They're like, "29 Palms is that way." He points to behind the car, so the car is facing the wrong way on its side, and that's why we couldn't
Yeah, we
like
got a
figure
little
out.
turned around.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we couldn't figure out. Because also I was kind of confused because I could have sworn it was a left turn, but we were on the right side of the road.
Yeah.
And then like if we had been coming the other way, it would have been a right turn. You know.
Right.
So I was like, I could have sworn it was a left turn. Like I was really confused. And then yeah, when they said that, I was like, oh shit. And then I looked back or in front of the car, and there's in the distance in the darkness that you can only see it at all because the cops lights are on, and not their flashing lights aren't on, but just that they have like their brake lights and their fucking headlights on. um and there's one of the telephone poles, the base of it is splinters, and it's like clearly being held up by the wires. Like, and I like looked at that and just looked away, like didn't want the cops to notice it because I don't know how that works. And
I think
they
it's
didn't
public.
notice it.
Yeah.
And then the USA like tow truck never showed, so we asked the cops. They radioed one. My buddy showed up. I called my sex chief again. He got a friend of mine to come get us. And yeah, at like 7:30 in the morning, I made my phone call at like 2:06. At 7:30 in the morning, my buddy shows up and the tow truck shows up. And then the cops go ahead and take off. They're like, "You sure you're good?" And we're like, "Yeah, our ride's here. Like, thanks for coming by." And then once the cops left, I walked back. Like, I walked the path. And you can see, like, we went off the road, we hit the berm, then the ground is undisturbed. And then there's a massive divot in the ground just behind the telephone pole. So we, like, went through the bottom of it and, like, impacted the ground. Then the ground is undisturbed again. Then there's another fat ass divot in the ground. Then it's undisturbed again for another like 10, 15 feet. And then there's a massive divot in front of the car. And so it had gone like through the telephone pole, hit the front, hit the back, hit the front, flopped down on its side.
How
Is what it
many
did.
how many paces was it? Did you count it?
No, I can show you, I have a video somewhere that I like low key took with my camera. Or I didn't like walk it, but I kind of zoomed and you can see how far the telephone pole is. Um, and then yeah, then the guy, the car is like the struts sticking out. You've seen the pictures, like the
Yeah.
struts out on like the front right side, like it's beat to shit. And the guy, the tow truck guy, is coming up and he's like he's it's one of those ones where it's got like the massive flatbed that can like tilt. And
Yeah.
so he, has to basically he hooks up to like the frame of the car and then just drags it through the fucking dirt to the road and then drags it up into the truck with the winch. And, but he was asking us, he's like, what happened? What happened? We're like, oh yeah, like, went off the road. We kept saying we lost control because, you know, he
That
fell
sounds
asleep
better.
at the wheel and that'll get him in trouble. And, he was like, was everyone okay? And we're like, yeah, it was just us. Like, we're fine. He's like, you guys were in this? He was like, what the fuck? You're just walking around? He could not believe it. And, yeah, it was. And then I guess it's because I was so, like, casual about it. I called, once we were on our way back. And, he was like, yeah, okay, Staff Sergeant said just fucking go to medical. He was like, you guys sure you're good? I was like, yeah, my wrist hurts like pretty bad, but I don't think it's broken. And my knee hurts like shit too, but I don't think it's broken either. My buddy was a little banged up. And So he was like, yeah, the staff sergeant said just like go to medical, make sure you're good, and then just come into work. So so we went to medical, I got an X-ray of my wrist, and it was fine, and then went to work like the same day, like car accident at fucking 2 in the morning, all that shit, and then go to work, and then yeah, like near the end of the day, I had to go to the office for something because we usually work in the motor pool where like the chain of command isn't really hanging around. And then I had to go to the office for something, and I go in, and the whole chain of command is there. They're like, first of all, everyone thought I was driving, which I knew was going to happen because I drive like a fucking maniac, and they all thought that it would be me like doing something stupid and losing control. And they were like, oh, what'd you fucking do and shit like that. I was like, no, it wasn't me, it was the other guy. And then they were asking like, so what happened? And I had phrased like, well, he kick flipped the Mazda is what I had always said because it's amusing. It's an amusing way to say it. And so they thought like I was exaggerating. And then I took out I pulled out my phone and showed them the pictures, and they were like, what the fuck? They're like, you still came to work? I was like, you told me to. He's like, yeah, well, I didn't know. Because that's when I realized, like, I really had just called him and, like, yeah, we got in, like, a little car accident, and the car is totaled, but we're fine. That's, like, the only way I had said it.
Yeah.
And then, when I talked to my boys about it, I said, like, he kick-flipped it. But even then, like, I told everyone the story at the motor pool, but, like, as far as the chain of command heard, like, we bumped into a tree at 20 miles an hour and the radiator's damaged, so now we gotta fucking get a ride. But yeah, I also got shit from our stepmother because we're on her phone plan, and so I knew it notified her when I called 911. So I sent her a text and said like, got in a minor car accident, everything's fine. And then when she found the pictures, she kind of bitched me out. She's like, a minor car accident? Like you were fucking.
I think,
like, well, I wasn't
think
gonna tell you. I
technically
wasn't
if it
gonna.
went end over end, it was an impossible, if I remember my skateboarding lingo.
Yeah. Yeah, we scored some fucking points there.
That was a real Tony Hawk American Underground.
But yeah, it went end over end a couple
American
times.
Wasteland.
Which you have no idea what's going on when you're in that. Like you're just getting the shit
No.
beat out of you. And also
The lights go out, yeah?
No.
Oh, they stayed on.
Yeah, the lights were on.
Good sign.
Yeah, they came on. It was a safe car. It was a more I think it was like a 2013 or something like that. A little more modern Mazda, like not really the sporty one, like a more like a slightly sportier Nissan Altima basically. Maybe a little smaller. And
yeah.
And yeah, no, but it's another thing too that I didn't know. But for the next like 2 days, I was coughing and shit. Like the chemicals from the airbags,
Abrasive. Real
it's
abrasive.
really rough. It's like rough shit. And we were
Yeah.
in it for a while, and it's all cloudy, just from the airbags. And it had the side ones too, which is cool. I'd never really, I'd seen like crash
Curtain.
tests, videos of them, but I'd never experienced it. I'm pretty sure it saved my wrist. Because I think I smacked my wrist on the door, but like through the airbag. Because it comes down a lot lower than you think, on the door.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And I'm pretty sure I didn't hit my face on the forward airbag at all. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the other guy did either.
That's
like
mostly the forward airbag
airbag.
is a secondary measure if you're not wearing your seatbelt or if the seatbelt fails. So you're not really supposed to hit
I don't
it.
think that's correct.
Well, a lot of it, it cushions your face too a little. Keeps you from moving your neck a lot.
But yeah, it was
The original intention of it was to serve as a secondary measure. I think that's how Grandpa lost his teeth, wasn't it? Or his two front ones.
I remember you telling me that he said that. I don't think he ever told me that story.
Yeah,
He crashed into something.
Some intersection and guy ran a red light and he T-boned the guy. And he went forward into the dash, came back out, and his fucking teeth were still in it.
Hell yeah. But yeah, we were also saying like if we had been in the dude's truck, that would have been fucking awful. Like he had just a a lifted truck. It would have been like we
Yeah,
definitely would have fucking
those are
died.
actually pretty dangerous if you get in a wreck.
Yeah.
Like fender benders, the big cars are pretty good, but like an actual fucking wreck, like
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah. I still I haven't slept in a car.
I got like whenever I was doing that construction gig and I was working nights, like
Yeah.
jump to nights from days. I was like, I woke up blowing a red light. I was like, oh, this is not where
I
it's not where I
did
want to be.
yeah, when I did that drive, I drove from Tornado Palms uh across the country, and I went like to the Hoover Dam and then to the Grand Canyon. Actually, that's a pretty good story too. I went to the Hoover Dam with a bomb basically. I had a I had the steel shell of an round, of an illumination artillery round, which is just a hollow steel shell, but it from the side looks just like a bomb because they're the same fucking shape as the explosive ones. Um, and I had it on just the floorboard on the passenger side of the car. And when you pull into the Hoover Dam, which I didn't know until I arrived and was in line and was only like 3 cars away, they make you roll down all your windows and they like look in your car. And I just have a fucking bomb sitting there, and I roll down the windows. Dude like sticks his head in right over it, looks down, like looks around, like doesn't acknowledge it at all. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I could definitely get a bomb in here, dude. Just put it right out in the open in my car. Because I was thinking, like
Awesome.
how I'm gonna explain it and shit. Like, I'm gonna have to. Because if you pick it up and look inside, it's empty and you see that. But when it's laying on its side, you can't see that the top and bottoms are open on it. And so I'm like thinking, how I'm gonna explain my way out of this and shit. And um, yeah, he like looked at it, didn't even fucking acknowledge it or anything, and they just let me go in. But then I went to the Grand Canyon and I got there at night, so I spent the night there. Got up the next day at like 9 in the morning, checked out the Grand Canyon for about 3 hours, and then drove to Chicago straight. And that's a 26-hour drive. And I don't do like energy drinks either. Like I didn't do any of that. And
Coffee makes me shit. That's pretty much the only reason why I drink it.
and I only pissed. I like snacked just enough to like get by because I didn't want to have to shit. I wasn't trying to drink a lot of water, so I got milk too. I think at one of my stops, but I only stopped when I was out of gas. Like I did not stop at any other time. Like I stopped when my tank was empty. And uh, yeah, made it through. Was calling people like all day and shit. Then at night, um, I was calling some of my boys that were still in California because they were still up and it was a little earlier for them. And then it was the next morning when I think I was like 5 hours away from Chicago, and it was like daytime. I was really starting to feel it. I was really getting nervous, and so I put on like "Fly Me to the Moon" and started like singing it like really loud, like getting just like being active, and then like I'm a lane over, like just wake up a lane over, uh, which scared the fuck out of me because
Yeah,
it
you can't
wasn't
really
even
bang
like
that shit out.
yeah, because
Like, you think you can, and you like I've been there where you're like, yelling or something.
I've never
It
been there before. I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
because you like, I've been there where it's like, you slip and you don't realize it. But I was like in the middle of doing something that I was engaged in, and then I was one lane over, and a few seconds later in the song, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and it scared the dog shit out of me. I called like a bunch of different people and talked the rest of
Yeah,
the drive there.
yeah. Best you can do.
It just kept bothering. It was like really early too for a lot of people. It was like bothering the hell out of everybody. I was like, dude, I just need your help. Like, I'm not gonna stop. I didn't want to stop because I had everything I owned in my car, and
Why
I
don't you
just
just
like
sleep in the
could
car?
not afford. Because it's cold.
Just let the car run.
No.
It only burns like a few. I think it burns like a 2 gallons.
Also, I didn't have enough room to like lean my seat back. Like at all. So I stayed the night at the Grand Canyon and was like even really nervous about that, but I stayed at a nice place. And then like made sure I parked in view of a camera. And then but yeah, after that I was like I was on I-40 all the way until fucking Oklahoma City and then swung north. And it was fucking rough. Well, that's probably good. We can stop.
Yeah, good for me.